Hi Adam, this is Adam here. So I've been looking at ways to try and share the work that I've been doing for you, and I found this extension so I can record direct from the browser. I think this is probably the best way to show you what I've been up to. So what you're looking at here, I know it doesn't look like much, and I'm not entirely sure if this screen recorder will show you the responsiveness of the website, but it should show you some of the features, so that's really cool. Now, what I understood is you didn't want that kind of default behavior of scrolling up and down the page like most people do, and at first I had a bit of a sort of it was a bit scary because that means modifying the whole way that the browser works. In a way, it was quite tricky and daunting at the time, so I was a bit nervous, but anyway, hopefully this is what you're wanting. So if I, for example, scroll the mouse wheel, and I'm on a trackpad right now, if I scroll it up and down, you'll notice that it actually goes left and right, and also I can trackpad left and right as well, so that's the same. So up and down, left and right, and that works really well. We've also got the pager, which will animate. I know there's a little display error there, but I'll be able to sort that out, that's no problem. The pager works even if I were to go sort of halfway between. I could then go back and it would snap me into position. There's four, I don't know what we can call them, they're not really pages because this is one big page. So I suppose we'll call it 4 panels. So we have 4 panels on here, and each one you can animate to. So this sort of animation is kind of the fruit of my hard work over the last year of trying to be more sort of modern and dynamic, and I've managed to develop my animation skills. So it's not hard for me to make this kind of thing. Obviously, with JavaScript turned off, which is something that some people have, where they've decided to turn their JavaScript off for whatever reason, I'm going to have to make a more traditional page. So it would be the same kind of layout, except rather than having this really nice smooth transition, it would just sort of jump to that panel, if you see what I mean. Also, obviously with this layout, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work on a mobile device, but I'm really hoping that if you can see this, that it suddenly just changed size and it gets really small, but still remains reasonably okay. It knows how big it should be. That was a little display error. I know exactly how to fix that, don't worry about that. But it was supposed to show you. Oh well, anyway, it's not working, but it will work, don't worry about that, I can deal with that. Also, we have the admin thing, which is basically where you'll be able to manage your site. This is a bit rough around the edges as well, but bear in mind that, with a bit of time, maybe in the next day or so, I can have this up together and nice and clean. If I were to click admin, you get this kind of nice, it would be quite a nice animation and drop down sort of interface. Over here, you would have your login details, so you'd be able to access these controls here. If I want to just refresh I'm not sure I can refresh the page, but normally you wouldn't see this unless you click the option, which would be a lot smarter than just it would be some kind of nice cog icon or something. Your user picture will be here just for you, kind of nice. And I'm thinking about the sort of options that you might want. I'm really influenced by Windows 8 and the way it's done, and I think that it's really cool, and this is where the way it scrolls is is quite similar. So, and also I'm quite influenced by mobile devices. So we've made these mobile toggles, and these are actually checkboxes. So in theory, I can just set up some options for you, so you'll be able to manage your website in like a really quick way. So you won't be going all the way into sort of some kind of background user interface. All you need to do is log in, and it'll give you further options in this sort of modal box. Things like, well, the normal scroll option. I think if you get fed up of this side scrolling, you can always turn it off. That would be quite easy to do. You could also close the shop. I think closing the shop is kind of useful for like if you've got a new range of products, or there's something wrong that you'd like to address, like some spelling mistakes, or basically it's a kind of administration mode where you don't want the public to see what you're up to until you reopen the shop. I was also thinking about a light theme. Really, I was thinking about having it so that during the day you have a light theme, and at night you have a dark theme. I know that you are quite set on the dark theme, and that's really cool, but I'm experimenting with new technologies at the moment, and I was just wondering if you might be up for that. Another thing is, on the actual shop pages, would you still want the horizontal, like non-standard scrolling, or would you like vertical standard scrolling? The reason I ask is, well, I don't know really. I think this would work quite well as a shop. I'm just trying to envisage how we can display your products, as best we can, and have the description and everything. Right, well, that's it from me, and thank you so much for being so patient. There is one last thing actually. I'm now a Drupal specialist, so I build my websites with Drupal, which means that you will, once I've converted this to a Drupal website, it'll be really easy for you to add products, because I'll create a content type called product, and you'll be able to put your title, or you could put a video, any type of media you want in there. You just got to sort of tell me kind of what sort of things you want, and I'll show you everything about that. You'll have a nice WYSIWYG editor, so you'll be able to just like type things up without having to like know any code, and it's quite a smart looking thing, with all the standard sort of bullet points and paragraphs, the whole thing. It's auto formatting, so it will be like just like if you wrote an email to me. Sorry, there's so much to cover here. I guess also there's going to need to be some kind of contact area, and you can edit that as well. You can edit all of it. One thing I would say is, when you edit a page, I'm not entirely sure if you will see it in the same way as when you save it. It will be displayed differently. That's just because of all the wizardry that I'll be plugging into it, but we'll see how that goes. This is a bit of an experiment for me to convert it to a Drupal site, and it will be well worth it, because there's already some really great modules for shops, and modules for pretty much anything you can think of, including social media, and yeah, just tons of things. Right, well, thank you very much for listening, and I hope this gives you a bit of hope, and I'll carry on. I won't stop until I get this done, and also download your images, because we're going to need those in the coming days. Okay, thanks.